So, I have at least a little bit of good news about the Atari VCS. It actually exists. So yeah, I think I'm just as surprised as anyone. I finally got my Atari. It's sitting right there. So on December 11th, Atari on their Indiegogo put out update number 42. And it says, "Hello backers, today is the day. By the time you are reading this, the campaign tracker at the top of the Indiegogo page should have switched to shipping, and the first packages should be labeled and heading out the door and on their way to you, our loyal backers." And the email just goes on and on. They also sent over a PDF that kind of explains what day one is supposed to be like, and I'll go over that here. I'm not going to read you the entire PDF. I'm just going to go through like kind of the weird stuff that sticks out. So, using browser-based apps and streaming services. When using a streaming service, you are essentially accessing the web version of the service using a Chrome browser. At this time, you can only use these services using the companion app or a keyboard and mouse. We will be adding controller support in a future update. Passwords in browser and unique login. As of the Atari VCS ship date, Chrome login credentials are not linked to individual user accounts. The last Chrome account that was logged into will be accessible to anyone subsequently logging into the VCS. If Dad logs into Chrome and then logs off the VCS, anyone else in the family who logs into their VCS account can open Gmail and read Dad's emails. The same is true for login credentials to streaming services and other browser-based apps. We have already changed this so that Chrome logins are linked to specific VCS user accounts, but we had not been able to test the change prior to shipping. Using controllers in-game. This is a brand new platform, and we are still discovering new things and identifying and solving small issues that arise in porting as developers deliver their game files. We have noticed, for example, that sometimes certain button presses will respond differently depending on if your controller is connected via Bluetooth or a wire. We are working closely with the game developers to iron these issues out, and the developers have been sending us updates to their game files as they implement small fixes. Well, that's bizarre. So I guess, in short, if I use it in Bluetooth, I may get a different kind of input response than if I use the USB. So it's a pretty long PDF, and I'm not going to go through everything, but you can upgrade the solid state drive and add more space because there's an open slot, and you can upgrade the RAM, which also has open slots. It currently has 8 gigs, you can go up to 32. So I'm usually very selective about my word choice in my productions, no matter how simple or silly they are, because I like them to be timeless. I don't like to lock it in as a YouTube video or something that could in the future no longer exist. But for the following statement, I'm gonna make an exception because it's just really strange. So like I said before, on December 11th, Atari sent out that Indiegogo update that said that they were shipping and that everything was happening and it was all good. And then on the 12th, Saturday, I got a shipping email that said the Atari was on its way. And then later on Saturday, I got the Atari. The email said it was going to take 8 to 10 days. And obviously, I'm not complaining. That is some hardcore shipping, but here's where it gets weird and no longer timeless. Today is Sunday the 13th. I got my Atari yesterday. And as far as I can tell, aside from maybe Atari themselves or press or whatever, there are no videos of the VCS. Nobody owns one. And on top of that, there are no eBay listings for them either. Like, nobody's trying to scalp them or list their pre-order for a profit or whatever. It's weird. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But let's stop talking about the specs and the news and the Indiegogo updates and all the stuff we see everywhere. I have one right here. It exists. It's real. Let's just dive in, critique it, give it an honest review, and see if it's worth all the waiting. The controllers are actually really comfortable and of a respectable quality. The modern controller is the exact layout of an Xbox controller, And it actually has an Xbox mode, like you could use this on your Series X. The joystick is perfect for the classic games, and it has this really cool LED effect when you mess with the stick. I guess we'll start with home. We'll just start with the home menu. So this is the main dashboard, it looks nice enough. I've installed a couple of things. Missile Command Recharged I got for free, I think, because I was a backer. And then the Atari VCS Companion I haven't messed with because it's a phone app, and I guess it just lets you control the Chrome app and stuff. And then I installed Netflix just because it was there. The Atari VCS Vault, that is where you can play all the arcade games or the 2600 games, and you can use either controller and all the games play. So I had a really interesting experience in the store. When I checked it out, I saw that there was an Atari VCS Vault 2, and my favorite Atari game that I know of, because I'm not terribly familiar, is Pitfall. And so I was like, okay, cool. Maybe Volume 2 will have Pitfall because the default volume did not. So you can see it's $4.99, and so I was like, oh, that's $5, whatever. So I went and I set up to buy it. After I clicked buy now, it said download, and when I clicked download, nothing happened. And I thought that was a little strange. So I tried again. It turns out I was charged twice, and it's hard to tell if that's fully in focus, but almost all the information in there says not applicable. There is no information. This is my receipt for the VCS Volume 2, which I still never got. Not applicable, not applicable, not applicable California, not applicable United States 5555555. Your order contains Atari VCS Vault 2, quantity, some ridiculous amount of code that is really strange, $4.99. So yeah, there's really not much to offer yet. Aside from your streaming services and Twitch, there's 1, 2, 3 games, and then the Vault Volume 2, which I still haven't been able to get to work. So yeah, I got charged twice for the Vault 2, and it's been almost 24 hours and I still don't have access. My order numbers were 384 and 385, which I guess, if I had to guess, would tell you that there's only been 385 orders of anything off of their store in the entire console's lifespan. So here's your vault. You can navigate it a couple of different ways. You get your little arcade game selection. There's the 2600 game selection, which is pretty sizable, but some of the more popular ones are missing, which I assume are in Vault 2. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. This right here, this is what I waited over 2 years for. So yeah, I don't know what to say. Is it worth what I paid? No. Does it have potential? Sure. Absolutely nobody, at least nobody's announced that they've developed for it, but it could be cool. It could have its own fun, cute little library. It doesn't have to be the most spectacular thing of all time, but it does need something to offer, because as it is now, it's just a 2600. It's pretty crazy. A lot of people really didn't think this thing was going to come out. Myself included at one point, actually. In September of 2019, I wrote them this email. I really was looking forward to this system, but the fact that you've missed all of your deadlines, never showed the console running at all whatsoever, and have stopped updating in general, I think I'm no longer convinced. The talk all over the internet isn't helping either. You need to post an update very soon showing the VCS in action. I dropped over $300 on it. which I'll be asking for back if something doesn't happen to change my mind. Honestly, I think we just need to wait a little while. Once more people have one and things get optimized, stuff gets added to the store, we'll get more of an idea of the future of the Atari VCS. It's certainly been an interesting journey.